3 years ago this week, I had an abortion. It was something that I decided at 7 weeks pregnant. I got the abortion a few weeks after I found out that I was pregnant, and when I read the pregnancy test and saw that it was positive, I just remember feeling absolutely petrified, and my legs turned to absolute jelly when I was walking back down the stairs with the result. I had just started a relationship. I was 6 months into a relationship with my boyfriend Dion, and I still had a year left of university, my final year, which was so important to me, and I made that decision with the most incredible support from Dion, who never once made me feel like I had to make either or decision. He absolutely reassured me that it was my body, it was my decision, he would be there for me no matter what, and that is the kind of person he is, and that's why I'm still in love with him and why I'm still with him today. I know of a girl who had the absolute opposite experience, that went through an abortion and had a partner who made her feel guilty for it, and you know, I just realised I'm so lucky to have someone who is so willing to love me and be with me and support me no matter what my decision was, and he was all the way through, and even in the aftermath. The reason I've decided to share this story is because my experience of post-abortion was horrific. I was extremely depressed. I almost failed my degree until I shared the story with my tutors, who were again extremely supportive. I was mourning, I felt guilty, and I felt like I'd made the wrong decision. For me, when I felt pregnant, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and once I'd made that decision, I really struggled to come to terms with the fact that I'd made that decision. And I remember after having the operation, I felt empty. Dion was waiting for me in the waiting room, and I just broke down in tears. I couldn't process what I'd done. I felt absolutely awful about myself, and he was so supportive and so strong throughout the entire process. For me, what I found really worrying was that there was no post-abortion support. There was no support for girls who'd gone through abortion. Really, it was kind of like I'd been seen and that was it, and get on with your life. You made that decision, and I ended up getting really depressed. I have suffered with OCD. Some of my very, very close friends will know, and my family know, and that's about it. But I've suffered with OCD since the age of 12. My OCD flared up. I wasn't going into university. I was lying to everyone around me about how I was feeling. I was crying randomly. I was taking it out on Dion. I was taking it out on my mom, and I hurt a lot of other people. And most of all, I was really hurting, and that's why. For me, I don't feel ashamed about my decision now. I did for a long time, and mentally I think about it so often, and I still mourn, because to me it was still a loss. It could have been a life, and I really struggled to come to terms with the fact that I had got rid of something that was mine. It belonged to me. It was mine, and I felt horrendous and selfish, and disgusted at myself. And although I had all the support in the world from my family from day on, I just couldn't process what I'd done. I went to the doctors. I explained I was depressed. I didn't want to go on any tablets, and it took my doctor almost 6 months to get me an appointment for CBT, which is a therapy that I did when I was 16 that really helped me through my OCD. And yeah, so it took 6 months of feeling like absolute shit and feeling like my whole world had collapsed before I got any professional help. Obviously, 3 years on, I think in my head, even now, I kind of mentally worked out how old the child would be and when their birthday would be, and this week every year, I think this was when I made that decision. For me, what I found the absolute most helpful is that by speaking about my experience more over the past 3 years, instead of keeping it in, I have managed to process my decision. I don't feel guilty. I know it was the right decision for me. The only reason and the absolute reason I decided what I decided was because I was 21. I did not feel ready to be a mother. It just wasn't what I wanted, and I really have decided to set this page up. It's been an idea for months and months. I've only discussed it with a couple of close friends, but I just want to create a platform where women can talk about their experience openly or anonymously, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a story of abortion. It can be any story regarding your mental health or something that you feel like you want to share, so that you can get support and get your story out there and feel like you're not the only person in the world feeling the way that you feel or experiencing what you're experiencing. It's time to break the taboo on many different subjects and many different issues that women have to face, and it's time to talk about it. It's time to spread awareness and not feel ashamed about decisions that we make, and not feel ashamed about things that we've had to battle and face, whether it's any form of mental health disorder or anything you've gone through. So that's the reason I've set this page up. I really hope that we can get as many women as possible to share their stories with each other. Either, like I said, it does not have to be, you don't have to be named, you don't have to be in a video. You could share your story anonymously, but just a platform where women can share their stories between one another and with other people, and start breaking the taboo of staying silent and having to put on a brave face all the time, and starting to realize that we all have things that we feel ashamed to share, or we feel scared to share, but we really have to start talking about everything that or anything that we're going through, in order to make one another feel more comfortable about sharing our stories, so that when we do go through things in life, which we all will, most of us will face a challenge, in life at some stage. All of us will, and a lot of us will share very similar stories or even different stories, but I just want to create this platform. I hope you all get on board and share your stories and find support through this platform, and I really hope that one day it will become a platform where we can start organising meetups and talks and chats between one another, and just create a platform where we can all support one another, share our experiences, and never ever feel like we're the only person in the world going through what we're going through or feeling the way we're feeling, because it is the most horrific feeling when you feel that way. So I'll keep you posted, and I hope you all like the sound of the idea, and I hope you join me on my mission to try and get women to share and speak and talk, and speak and talk at the same thing, and listen to other people's stories. So thanks for listening to mine.